Welcome back, Know-It-Alls. Thanks for the support by listening to the show. We send out our appreciation to each and every one of you for allowing our podcast to take up a little bit or a lot of your precious time. Please send us more of your feedback so we can make sure the show is better for you.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Answers for Everything.
Welcome back, Know-It-Alls. This week, Charlie Ray and I are going to chit-chat about Christmas stuff, seeing as Christmas is like right around the corner.
That's right, Christmas time, that special time of the year.
Yeah, so Christmas now is a lot different than when I was a kid. Obviously, I have my own kids, so I got to worry about like presents and dinners, and they wake me up super early in the morning, which I'm not really cool with. So I like to open my presents the night before. Christmas Eve, when I was growing up, is when we opened our presents. So it was very unique. Like all my friends open it Christmas Day, Christmas Eve for us, but my kids like to do it Christmas Day. So Christmas Eve we just do nothing, have little snacks, watch a movie, go to bed, and then the next day is Christmas. How about you?
When I was growing up, I was a morning Christmas person. So, it was definitely waking up early, wanting to see what all's underneath the tree kind of thing, because we would do Christmas at home. And then we would go over to my grandparents' house and we'd do like a second Christmas, and I'd get like more presents over there. When I was a kid, I'd get stuff from my aunts and uncles and stuff as well. But that stopped pretty soon, at a young age. But
You got that at your grandparents' house, or did
at
you
my
open it
grandparents'
separately?
house.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Actually, sometimes we wouldn't even do Christmas at my house. We would just do the Christmas completely over at my grandparents. We'd take all my like my mom and dad's gifts over there, and I'd get them all there, and like everybody would do Christmas at my grandparents. So that was kind of, I don't know if that was weird or not. That's the way it was until I was about 7 or 8. Like the entire family would do all their Christmases at my grandma's house at the same time. We would literally have Christmas presents lined up like on 2 walls, like 4 or 5 foot high. It was crazy. Like the entire family Christmas was all done there. And then after that, we would, the kids would go play with their new toys or whatever. When I was older, I'd be playing video games with my Atari when I got my Atari until lunchtime was ready, and then we'd all have lunch. And of course, the kids would all eat like at cardboard tables, like in the living room and stuff, while the adults got to eat at the main table. But that was a fun time back when the entire family was together. Before the kids started getting older, everybody started splitting off, and by the time I was 10, pretty much it wasn't as many people coming over, and slowly dwindled from there.
Yeah, man, I feel you. Like when I was young, there was 4 or 5 cousins that were the same age that lived near my grandparents. So it would be, our 2 families and us kids, grandparents, Christmas, lunchtime, hanging out, opening and enjoying presents. Maybe family members from out of town would come visit for Christmas. So like my grandparents had a big table, it seats like 12 people. And yeah, the kids would get their own little section in the kitchen. The adults would sit at the big table. But as I got older, my aunts and uncles started to have kids, so they just stopped coming for Christmas because they would have to travel to do it, right? I lived right there, and then my one aunt and uncle lived right there as well. So my 3 cousins, my sister, and I would go. But as we got older, my aunts and uncles had kids, and they just tended not to, drive the 2 hours to Oma and Opa's house. So they had their own Christmases with their own families, and at that point we were pretty much doing Christmas at home with like my mom, and we'd probably go up for maybe a snack later that night, or singing Christmas carols, or the next day would be Boxing Day, which was my grandpa's birthday, so we'd do another dinner that day too. So like 2 days in a row. But yeah, it's a lot different now. Like we live out in the middle of like buttfuck nowhere, so there's no family out here. Like there's nobody to come visit. We've had a few people out here for Christmas, like 3 times maybe out of the 14-15 years I've lived here. Other than that, it's just Christmas with us, just like the 4 of us in the house.
Right.
And the kids do morning opening your presents. Usually I grab McDonald's for lunch because it's like the only place open, and then I cook a Christmas dinner for everybody. That's Christmas Day, Christmas Eve.
Nice. Well, I can at least say one thing, probably considering where you're at, you at least have the ability for them to go out and go snow sledding and stuff like that more often.
Well,
if they want.
You say that, but there's no hills. It's all prairies. It's just flat. and it's like Christmas is like minus 35.
Well, I guess putting them out
Yeah.
there to be popsicles is probably not a good idea.
Oh, it sucks ass. There is so much snow, and the kids can't build a snowman with it because it doesn't pack. It's all dry. There's no moisture in
Ah,
the air.
uh,
Like
well,
to shovel the driveway, I can use like a broom. I can sweep it like it's dandruff. Like I just
really,
yeah, it's not wet
wow.
at all. It's like sand, but light sand. People use leaf blowers to blow off their driveway and their sidewalk in front of their house out here.
Dude, when I'm shoveling like 6 to 8 inches of snow here, it is just like it's like heavy. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
heavy. Yeah.
We get that at the end of the season. Like in March, the last couple snowfalls, it's all wet. Like springtime wet snow like I grew up with. And it
Uh,
fucking sucks ass to shovel. Like just sucks
oh,
anus. Like drippy, juicy, hairy, smelly anus. So I personally love shoveling that because of the anus, but
yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is we got a lot more snow every year when I was a kid up into the 80s. And now it's like we get snow every once in a while, but we'll get like 3 inches this, 4 inches this,
do you
you
think you
know.
do you think you got a lot of snow because in your head you got a lot of snow, or do you think it's because you were smaller, so the little bit of snow you got seemed like a lot?
No, we just got more snowfall. Like it snowed more often, and like snow stayed on the ground, and the winters weren't didn't seem as warm. I mean, we still have cold snaps and freezes, but man, we just don't. And it's not that I'm looking for the snow, but I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes the ground needs a little bit more water. But
Yeah.
now as an adult having to shovel it, I'm not exactly going, yeah, bring on the snow.
Yeah, I remember being a kid. It didn't always snow in my hometown. Like I grew up in a pretty warm place, and people are always like, "Ooh, a white Christmas, a white Christmas." They're very excited. Out here, I get a fucking white Halloween. Like I get fucking
Right.
snow 2 months before Christmas out here.
Here's a white Easter for you too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's times that we can't go put eggs in the backyard because there's half a foot of snow out there.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times when it's actually snowed here, like in April, or I think it even snowed once, like in early May, and I was like, "What the heck, man? That's just crazy."
But I do miss
So,
the days when I was like super little and I would get a fucking amazing like GI Joe toy. I mean, back then, you remember the Sears Wish book, right? Do you guys have
oh
that?
yes,
Right?
yeah,
That was like a gift from heaven to go through that for all the toys. And I pretty much only liked GI Joe in it, but I always looked at the Transformers. I always looked at the Ninja Turtle stuff. But yeah,
Star Wars,
oh, Star
Star
Wars,
Wars too.
yeah. I guess I got the Hoth playset and Snowspeeder when Empire came out, so like
Yeah,
1980.
yeah. I got the snow speeder back then, and then years later, probably in the late '90s, is when I picked up a vintage at.
It was
So
amazing.
yeah,
Remember one time at my grandparents' house, I was there with my cousin for Christmas, and I got the Conquest X30, so GI Joe jet, like 1986, 87, whenever it was. And I opened it, and inside there was two carded figures. So I was gonna put the jet together, and there was two more carded figures, and I was like, God damn, they must have made a factory fuck up here. And then I didn't obviously say that because I was like 8. My grandma's like, yeah, we put those in there instead of wrapping them for you, so that's part of your present, two more figures. I'm like, oh, that's less exciting than getting two magical figures inside the box, but it was still pretty sweet.
Santa Claus was being extra special. Here you go,
Yeah,
kid.
yeah. I'd stay up all night on Christmas Eve just playing with GI Joe toys, and now all I do on Christmas Eve is just drink by myself and look forward to possibly sleeping in if the kids don't wake me up, and then cooking a great dinner. I don't know what I'd rather have: hanging out with the kids and making a great dinner, or staying up late playing with toys that I saw in the Christmas catalog that I was lucky enough to get.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, since I don't have children and nor a wife or anything else, I really don't celebrate Christmas very much anymore, which is really sad to me. It used to be my favorite time of the year, obviously when I was a kid, and I should have appreciated it being my favorite time of the year more for the family than the toys, but kind of like Joe Con, it was mostly about the toys.
So
So
Christmas is in a couple weeks. What run me through Christmas for you this year? Like how you see the future. What do you see happening on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day?
well, let's see. Christmas is on a Friday, so I got Friday off since that's our Christmas holiday observed. I get screwed out of an extra day of holiday this year, so I'm gonna get one day off instead of two. Let's see here. Well, the gym will probably be closed, so I can't go use the hot tub. I don't have a hot tub at home like some people.
Hey man, I need small little bonuses for living in such a
Yeah.
shitty place. So
It's a goal. It's one of my goals. That and the sensory tank and the sauna. But anyway, if the gym is open, it might be open until noon that day. So if that's the case, in the morning of that Friday, I'll probably do a sauna and maybe do a hot tub. I probably won't do any like actual exercise. I'll just relax a bit. Come home in the afternoon. Maybe watch. You know what? I might go. I might go out to the movie theater. We'll see what's in the movie theater at that point. Maybe there's something good out.
I used to watch movies on Christmas Day because
Yeah,
there's always a movie that's released on Christmas Day.
yeah. I used to do that. That was kind of a tradition I had with my first ex-wife, and I kind of discontinued that tradition.
Well,
You
that
know, but
makes sense.
maybe it's time to bring it back. Yeah, I went and saw Pulp Fiction on Thanksgiving Day the year it came out. That was awesome.
Hmm.
Had a couple old people in front of us leave and demand a refund during the first opening scene of the robbery at the diner because of all the cussing. It was hilarious.
What the fuck were they expecting?
Obviously, all right, you motherfuckers, nobody move.
Or I'll execute every last motherfucking one of you.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe I'll go see a movie. If not, maybe I'll watch a movie at home. Speaking of which, I did watch Free Guy again on DVD, so that was nice.
I need to watch it again. I watched
Yeah.
it, but I was high, so
Yeah.
I don't
I
remember.
got kind of a crush on that female character. She's obviously way young, but still.
I mean, I got
Not
a
bad.
crush on Ryan Reynolds, so there's that.
He is a sexy man. I was watching that going, you know, he would be a guy that I feel like would be really cool just to hang out with because he'd probably be funny. He'd probably have a really good sense of humor. At least that's what I hope. We never really know celebrities, but I would like to think that that's who he is in real life.
Have you watched his latest video?
Which one?
He just uploaded a video of him watching a video. So what happened is like the Canadian government honored him with some sort of
Oh, I did
achievement.
see that. Yeah.
It was amazing,
Yeah.
right? And did you see
Yeah.
all the charities that were like thanking him? Like you have no idea, but he like does stuff for like 10 to 20 charities in Canada. At the
Yeah.
end, they were all just thanking him. Like, wow, I wonder how much time he spends actually with the charities and how much money he hands out. But it was a just amazing video, right? Like he literally was crying. It was awesome.
Yeah. 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 Like I said, I like to. I'd like to hope that he really is a good person, and apparently, him and his wife like to really josh each other quite well with pranks and stuff. And I think that's hilariously awesome. So
It's the way it should be.
yeah, that's the way it should be. And between him and his wife, Blake Lively, right? And then I also really like John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. I think
Yeah.
they seem to be a really good couple together, and I
Yeah.
hope both of them, go the distance. But anyway, going back to Christmas, since I can't have Ryan Reynolds underneath my tree,
Fair enough.
Uh,
It's something we all want, but not
yes.
something many of us will get.
yeah, no. That night, I don't know what I'll probably do that evening. I doubt I go out or do anything. I probably just stay home, and then Christmas morning I'll probably sleep in, and we might do some kind of Christmas dinner, kind of like we did Thanksgiving this year. So we might cook something and do something over at my aunt's house. And I don't know, just be another typical weekend really for me.
You should try and talk to your mom and see if she'll go down into the storage room and pick some random G.I. Joe toys that you probably forgot you had. She could wrap them and put them under the tree so you could open them and be like, wow, this is awesome. I've always wanted one of these. Because you've got so much shit, you probably don't remember stuff you have, right? Or stuff you don't
I
have.
could just put all my grails up against the wall and be like, this is the best Christmas ever. Rolling Thunder, ATTE, an
Millennium-
Emperor shuttle, a Terradrome,
The Ultra
Yeah.
Magnus, Optimus Prime, Metroplex, all the Transformers I've ever wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a box of Transformers that I got in like some Joe lot one year, and I've just never done anything with them. I got to find that box and just sell them all. For all I know, there might be some stuff in there worth like a couple $100.
It could be. I sold all my Optimus Primes that were worth a couple $100.
Yeah.
All my Toys R Us re-releases.
Oh yeah. Now these are like original stuff, I think.
Yeah,
But anyway.
I got a couple Transformers for Christmas years ago. It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not-
The thing is last year, and I'm not able to do it this year because I was just too worried about what's going on. But I went down to Mexico for the end of the year. I didn't go. I was going to go from Christmas to New Year's, but I decided to go down from New Year's until the week after because somebody else took off vacation time at work. So I'm like, okay, I'll stay at work. I'll be here during this weekend between. I'll take the first week off of January. So that was my Christmas present to myself last year, was spending New Year's Eve in a hot tub drinking a cerveza while fireworks were going off over a lake in Mexico while it's 70 degrees outside. It was amazing.
It does sound amazing.
I mean, unfortunately, it was only with my friend George that was in the hot tub, and it wasn't a couple hot senoritas. But
yeah, but I mean, you may.
But you know what? It was a nice, reflective kind of evening.
And who knows? Couple cervezas later, one thing leads to another, and you can pretend he's one of the senoritas.
Don't ask, don't tell when you're in another city.
Exactly. Whatever happens in that city stays in that city.
Yeah. As long as you don't handle a fireman's fire hose statue, you're okay.
Yep. Thank you, Texas. Yeah, Christmas is going to be pretty simple. Kids, presents, dinner, and then I go back to work the next day. But you know what? One of these days, I'm going to fucking go to like Hallstatt, Austria, or I'm going to go back to Estonia, because walking around when you were in class and there was that Christmas market in the town square in the walled city, cobblestone roads, little straw, huts, bratwurst being cooked, sauteed onions, Santa up on a stage, like, gingerbread cookies being freshly baked right there in the market. That's what I want to do. I don't want to do this present shit. I want to take my kids, drop them off in Estonia in the middle of the walled city, and just be like, here you go. This is a Christmas market. This is what we're doing for Christmas this year. No presents. This is your present. Like, how could you not like that?
That would be awesome. I mean, here I was, when I was over in Estonia and you came over, I'd never been at a market like that in my entire life. I mean, that isn't something that you see in Kansas or any place around here. Here you are.
Huh? It's definitely not a North American thing, right?
Like, no, it's very European thing.
Yeah, it's amazing looking.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you got that, but of course, as we talked about when we were there, Estonia has one of the best preserved medieval time frame architecture still left in their old town, and where that Christmas market was in part of Old Town. I mean, we were walking by some of those buildings, and they had the dates they were made, and they were like hundreds of years old.
Yeah,
I
was happy when you were in class, and I went to that market like 4 or 5 times a day. Just I would walk around the city, like taking pictures, trying snacks. I would always head back to the market just to smell like the frying the onions and the sauerkraut and the sausages, and just apple cider with liquor. You're just like, I could live fucking right here, right now, and be a happy fucking man. It was so amazing.
Yes, I wish I'd had more time to spend in the market myself, and that I was trying to eat a certain diet, obviously, when I was doing my classes. So
yeah,
I wasn't able to enjoy just being totally decadent with just like, sausages and sour broth. And onions.
I was a glutton. I was disgusting.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience to just walk around with the snowfall and everything that one night when we were there and it was snowing.
Because it wasn't snowing the whole time, and that one night it just started to snow, and that Christmas market, the bells going off, Santa up on stage, and everybody dressed like they're from medieval times. It was amazing.
It was amazing.
And
then speaking of food, we went on from there. We went up to another night. We went up to that crepe place, or pancakes, whatever you want to call it. It was more crepes than pancakes.
Yeah, you and I know it as crepes, but it's called a pancake house.
I can't remember. Was that what it was called, the pancake house? I can't remember what Adam called it.
No, it was called a compressor. Was the name of it?
Yes, compressor. Yes.
And I don't know if that word has any meaning with pancakes or French toast or crepes. All I know is that I've been there before, and I had to go back because there's 25 different flavors of pancakes.
Right. And I just remember how packed it was. The place was really full.
Yeah.
And so we were lucky. We had a pretty good sized table they gave us. I don't think there's any small tables available, so they could give us a bigger table.
What I liked about the first time I went is that I wanted to try 2 different kinds, and the person I was with didn't want to try the 2 kinds I wanted to try, so she just got 1 kind. So then I got 2 helpings of 2 different kinds, and it was fucking so much food. I couldn't eat it all. But when I went back this time, I was like, hey guys, should we each get one type and then cut it into three so we can try three different kinds? And being guys instead of girls, you guys are like, fuck yeah, let's do that. So we got to try three different flavors.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, that was nice. And then what else? We had something else there. It was like a garlic stick that was really good.
Yeah,
It was like a giant bugle. It was like twisted, like thin garlic stick.
yeah, it was called garlic bread, and I was expecting, like French bread with like garlic butter on it. And then we got it. There's like a bunch of sticks with like a dip. You're like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was weird, but it sure was good.
Oh yeah, we ate the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And then I guess that's how they do garlic bread there. Because when you and I went back to the apartment, we stopped at the gas station. I went in and I found like a bag of chips, but it was called garlic bread. And I grabbed it. I was like, they sell garlic bread in like potato chip bags. And then I opened it. It was like fucking sticks of toast, like croutons, like elongated croutons that tasted like garlic. I was like, this is the exact same shit I had for dinner yesterday. But without that delicious dip. The garlic dip that it came with was like mind-blowingly awesome.
Yeah, it was. That gas station was like my best friend when I was in Estonia. It was right there when I got off the tram.
Remember the beer? Yeah. You're holding I don't know what size it, like a 3-liter of beer? Just like the one.
Oh, that huge beer. Oh yeah, those beers were massive.
Who the fuck needs that much beer in one sitting?
Maybe if you're in Estonia all the time, you need to drink a big beer like that. I don't know. But that month in Estonia, I really wish I'd been able to show you that resort type place, the where I did the first 10 days before I came back to the city.
Yeah.
Where I was out in the countryside about an hour outside of Tallinn.
How did you get out there?
Huh?
How did you get out of there? Like how when you have
they hired buses. They hired buses, and then we were basically picked up. Like they picked up some people in the city, and then all the people that were flying in were supposed to meet at the airport at a certain time. So they picked up the people in the city with the bus, and then they came by and picked up the rest of us at the airport. So I basically landed and went directly from the airport directly to the spa outside of the city. So I just like drove through the city and just out of the city, and because there was like, there's about 20 to 25 people in the teacher's class. Well, there was like triple that total for the first part of the class. So it was like many more people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever told you that part before. But so then we went out there.
So it's just a resort?
Well, it was like a small, it was like, there was like a big building that was kind of like it had some rooms for people, and then it had like the kitchen and like the dining room area in it. And then there was like, like a whole bunch of separate small buildings that like some of them slept like 3 or 4 rooms. And then there was like the big meeting room where we did all the training and teaching stuff. And then you'd go outside of that about, I don't know, quarter of a mile maybe. And between that quarter of a mile over to like, there's like 8 or 9 like small cabins that like would hold 1 to 4 people, and with a couple of rooms. It was weird setups. There was also, and in between the 2 spaces, like the main area and then like the little separated area, which is where I was actually staying. So I had to walk further every morning, but it was nice because I was just completely out in this area by myself with several cabins around me. So, and then there was the sauna area that was in between with the pond next to it. You could jump out into between sauna sessions. It was beautiful. It was weird. I mean, you'd be walking at night and you hear like wolves and stuff, like howling in the distance. You're like, how safe is this?
So it's like a summer camp, but for adults who are touching genitals.
Exactly. But so this place rents out for all kinds of company retreats and stuff like that. But the person who owns it had apparently done some coursework with the people who were doing this course, so they're friendly to this material.
Okay.
So yeah, it was. You would have loved spending some time out there. It was just beautiful, amazing countryside, and some pretty hot naked women at times, so that was nice.
Hey, I like hot naked women.
Yes.
I like.
Do you like hot naked women? I like hot naked women. Yes.
I mean, I like unattractive naked women. I like hot dressed women. There's so many different options there.
You're right.
Wait, women. There were women there? I like women.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah. And so that was really fun. I mean, the whole experience was fun, but then having that second part back in the town, getting to experience, like I said, all all the old buildings and the tradition stuff, and just, and I love just seeing different cultures whenever I travel, and how they are.
Yeah, I feel you.
So.
I love walking through there, and there's like 9 foot tall like wooden nutcrackers on the corner of all the streets.
Yeah.
Like they went all out. There's wreaths everywhere. There's lights hanging above. There's so many not fake Christmas trees, real trees. Like they bring like 15 of these individual 30-foot tall trees and just mount them in the middle of this town, and they build these little huts, and they just, oh my god, it's like walking through a medieval village at Christmas.
And the thing is, it's like, even though that there's some commercial spirit to it because they're there selling stuff and this and that, it's not the same as it is over here. Over here, it's overtly commercial. I mean, everything's you're going to see a tree up, but it's going to have a friggin' Nike logo on it.
Yeah,
you're going to see a nutcrackers all over the place, brought to you by Amazon.
Yeah.
Well,
it's different.
And so
it's like mall shop. They want you to go shopping at the mall and buy gift cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't want you to do that here. They want you to go buy someone's homemade knitted sweaters, knitted mittens, and their family recipe, burgers, or their family recipe apple pies.
Right. Or what was that one stuff that was like mulled wine or whatever, like that spicy wine type stuff?
Yeah, they had the mulled wine with, it was amazing. Like, I could fucking live there. I don't want to do Christmas the way I do Christmas all the time. I don't want to buy shit for people.
No.
I'd rather spend the money, fly them there, and go to one of those markets. That's what we do for a week. This is Christmas every year. This is it.
Yeah, that would be cool. And speaking of other odd Christmases that I've had, one other place that I was ever out of town on Christmas time, or right near Christmas time, was with my second ex-wife. We were in Panama during the week before Christmas. So this, Panama, the down south, Central America somewhere. And we were on this little island that was about 15 to 20 minutes by boat off the coast of Panama City on the west coast. And so basically there's this little tiny island, and it's called like the Island of Flowers. And two things that it's cool about. One, it's got one of the oldest churches ever in North America or the Americas. It was like either 1427 or 1527. It was on the island.
Okay.
And we were lucky enough that we got there in the middle of the week when there wasn't a lot of tourists showing up, and the church was still open, because apparently they close it down to most people unless you live there, like on the weekends, so that they're not bombarded by people. So we got to go in and actually see the insides of this little church. It was pretty cool. And then secondly, just this whole island was, like I said, basically the island's like a day trip island. For Panama City people, like they'll come out for the day, spend the day on the beaches there and do whatever, and then they go back home. Okay. And so otherwise, the rest of the town is basically just this sleepy little fishing village that rolls up at like 6 o'clock. I mean, you're wandering around the island, and there's nobody in the streets, and you're like walking around what seems like a deserted village. And there's a little tiny police station right by the docks that had like 2 cops in it. That was it, like 2 cops. And usually they'd just be sitting on by the front with the table, and they're like playing cards. That's all they were ever doing, is playing cards, right? There's really no vehicles on the island. There's like 1 or 2 vehicles on the whole island. There's like a little tiny truck they use for picking up trash, and then like this one other vehicle. Like nobody has a car on the island, so it's all walking. And so here it is in the tropics, and you're walking down a trail, and there's like a Santa Claus on a stick. There was just like things like lining the walkways about Christmas, and like Feliz Navidad and stuff, and like flowers and stuff. And it's like Christmas time, and you're sitting there, and it's like you're looking at like coconuts and a picture of Santa Claus. And you're just going, man, this is weird,
But think about the lifestyle. You're talking about cops hanging out playing cards in front of the police station, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather be living that lifestyle there, or what you're doing right now?
I would absolutely rather live in that lifestyle. It was so laid back. I go back there. I go there, and I could just literally tell you my blood pressure would probably drop 20 points in one day.
So make that a goal, man.
It is a goal. Somewhere nice, beautiful, and tropical. And I get people all get tired about this. Oh, I hate it when I go to these places and everything's so slow, and it's like, when's this going to get done? It's like, manana, because it's kind of like, it gets done when it gets done.
Yeah. Later.
So much less stressful. You just got to have the patience and just be like, hey, it's all good. It'll get done.
Yeah.
But I understand why for many people that slow pace is stressful to them because they want to get it done. They want to get it done. It's like, okay.
No, I get it. I mean, I'm not about I want to get it done, but my life is so scheduled that I have to get it done. Like,
Right.
it's just I don't have time for shit. And it really makes me mad when I realize it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's like, oh, I have a 3 hour podcast to edit, and I got to do work shit, and I got to have lunches ready for my kids, and oh, I got to be up in 5 hours to start my 17-hour day tomorrow. I just want it to be a little bit different. Walking through a jungle and seeing a coconut and Santa, and then look over and see two cops playing cards. I'm okay with that lifestyle. I really truly am.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that I would. I mean, maybe it would bore me after a year or so, but I think I could get used to the small village life. It was so nice when we were walking around. Like, so we were staying at this. There's like 3 bed and breakfasts on the island, and the only hotel that was on the island got torn down because they were going to build a new one. But well, it just hasn't happened yet. So there's like hardly any places to stay on the island, and we're on the furthest on the end of town bed and breakfast, right? And this woman and her husband owned it. He was a pilot, and she was like a real estate agent from the States, and he was like a pilot. He might have even been Canadian. I can't remember, but anyway. So they owned it, and so they weren't always there, but they had like a caretaker guy who was like the caretaker and like the cook and everything. Dude was him. Well, actually, his wife also cooked. The food was amazing. They would make his food every day. It was fresh, just amazing food. That's where I had ceviche for the first time. It was just awesome. Fresh fish, because I mean it was fresh fish that was caught there, and there was no mosquitoes because on the west coast of Panama they have no mosquitoes.
That sounds amazing.
We were just walking around town. Yeah, that was the first time I ever walked outside naked.
So
now, this is a weird story. So it was like middle of the night. The island shut down, dude. There's like hardly any lights on the island at all. I mean, it's dark because electricity. Like nobody needs to turn the lights on. It's the middle of the night. You should all be at home in bed, right? There's no nightlife. There's no place open, right?
And you got a busy day of doing nothing tomorrow. So
well, they got to get up early to go fishing because most of it's a fishing village. So
yeah.
So here's in the middle of the night, and I'm just out on the balcony, butt naked, in tropical weather, going, I love Christmas time. Nobody was around. Who cared? There was a hammock out there. You could, and so a couple of times we'd walk around and we'd walk all the way through town, and you'd hear voices a little bit here and there if as you walk by houses and stuff. But
you weren't naked doing this, right?
No,
you were just okay.
No. I was not pulling a Lady Godiva through the streets. Wasn't riding a horse or my wife through the streets. But yeah, we were just walking through the town and just enjoying. There was like some moonlight, so it wasn't like dark, and there were occasional lights that were on. There just wasn't a lot. It's not like being in a first world country, USA, where there's lights everywhere. And it was just so serene and peaceful. And I had like no fear or worry at all that somebody's going to come out and like mug me or jump me or anything. You're just wandering down the middle of these like, cobblestoney kind of streets, kind of like the way it was in Estonia. But tropical and wearing shorts at like 8 o'clock, and just wandering down there. And we wandered by the police station, and then we'd wander when we'd walk out to the end of the dock. And we'd sit on the end of the dock. They had some like benches and stuff out there for people when they're waiting for the ferry. And we just sat out there, just looked at the island, and then you could see, and if you look the other direction, you could see all the lights of Panama City and all the skyscrapers. So it was kind of like looking at, you'd always see scenes of people in New Jersey looking at New York City, where like across the bay. That's what it was like. It was like that kind of distance, and it was just beautiful, just amazing.
So who decided?
It was a good experience.
So who decided, you or your wife, that you guys are going to spend Christmas in Panama?
It was my decision to go down there. At the time, I was talking to this person. I was going to actually open up a corporation out of Panama that was going to be a blind trust with bearer bonds, so I could have a completely anonymous corporation. And I ended up not doing it, but I already had the trip booked, and And so we went down there and we spent half the week in Panama. Well, the first part of the trip we spent it in Panama City at a different bed and breakfast. We both got food poisoning. That sucked. But we wandered around most of downtown, like Panama City. We saw Manuel Noriega's bombed out like palace. It was bombed by the Americans when they invaded, like in '89 or whatever, which was still a ruin. They don't clean things up, kind of like Americans. We just like, hey, we don't want that building anymore. We'll just leave it there.
It'll get done.
It'll fall down eventually. And then we got food poisoning. But then the next day when we got better, we went to we took how'd we do it? We had there's a driver guy that worked for the Airbnb, like a contract guy that they trusted. Yeah. He drove us across Panama to the other side, to the eastern side, and then we visited the locks on that side. You know, the ship locks where they raise and lower the ships going through the Panama Canal.
Yeah. Then
we took this train. I can't remember the name of it, but basically it's a train that crosses Panama and it goes from one side to the other. So we took about like a 45-minute or so hour-long train ride that was just beautiful through the jungle and everything. And then they met us and picked us back up at the other end when we got there. That was amazing. Got to see both Fox on both ends, and then of course then after that we went out and we spent 3 or 4 days on the island. Then we came back and we went home. So it was like a week and a half. It was a fun trip.
Yeah, man, it sounds fun. It sounds better than Christmas out here for sure.
Yeah.
You know, no offense to my work and my kids, but
I understand. No, I mean, I'm just hoping that really in the future I do get to travel some more. I mean, I want to visit so many places. And you know what? I'd love to experience Christmas time in many different countries.
Yeah.
You know,
I want to experience Krampus somewhere. That would be awesome.
Not sure if Krampus wants to experience you.
Nah, Krampus is probably scared of me.
Yeah, maybe.
Yep.
Krampus might like you. Who knows?
Yeah, man, I could definitely see myself doing Christmas other places. A couple of years ago, we told the kids that, hey guys, you're not going to get a lot of Christmas presents this year, just some shirts and some socks. And they're looking at me like, what? But I want this, this, and this. I'm like, we're going to go to Disneyland instead. So, 3 weeks before Christmas, you're going to be in Disneyland, and that's your Christmas present. So, and once you tell them that, they're like, fuck presents. Who cares? We're going to Disneyland.
Right.
So I would like to do that more, because that was awesome to know that we didn't buy them something that's just going to get played with for a week and then thrown into the corner of a closet until they find the next thing they like. I think I'd much rather spend the money on the trip versus spend the money on them, stacking shit into a closet like I have.
You should take them to like Estonia and Finland and like take them to like a actual like reindeer farm and like have them experience that.
Well, I remember when my eldest daughter was probably like 2, we went down to Jackson Hole, Wyoming to go snowboarding in like January. And I didn't realize this, but the temperature in Jackson Hole, Wyoming in January is the same temperature that I experience here. So it's like minus 40 and I'm trying to snowboard and I'm thinking, fuck everyone, fuck my life, fuck your mountain, this is bullshit. Because when you can't breathe because like the frost freezes over your eyelids when you're snowboarding, it sucks ass. And then when you're trying to walk through the town to go for dinner or like go for a coffee or catch the bus to get up to the ski hill, it sucks ass. But the cool thing was there's like an elk farm out there. And you get to go on like a Santa sled. So, you go out there and you sit on this big sled and they take you out to the farm and you take a look at all the elk. But, I mean, it was still minus 40. That sucked ass. But you got to see all these amazing elk. And then after you see all the elk, you get to go into like a tourist information center. And it takes you like through the history of like the elk within the Wyoming mountain range. And there's elk antlers that are like 15 feet wide. Like just one set. Wow. One set of antlers, like 15 feet wide, that was attached to an elk. And a lot of them are called the chandelier elk. So like the elk antlers go way up and then hang over. They're so heavy that the elk's necks get fucked up because they can't even raise their head like parallel to the ground. The antlers get so big that they just get fucked up.
Wow.
It's amazing.
It's amazing that they can grow that big.
Yeah. Well, so that was cool, but that wasn't Christmas. That was after Christmas. I mean, seeing as this is like a, Christmas themed episode, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Reindeer, elk, it's almost the same, right? Santa's sleigh at an elk farm, it's the same as flying through the air with reindeer, right?
Pretty close.
Minus 40 is, all I experience at Christmas. So hey,
You know, I at one time I always wanted to experience Christmas in New York City because, like, Lord knows they make enough movies about Christmas time in New York City and everybody's having a great time. But now
yes
it's
they
like,
do.
yeah, I don't know if I'd want to do it. You know?
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing the tree and go ice
Yeah,
skating.
yeah.
How, like you said, how often are you going to do it? You may as well do it once.
You know, I only got to New York City that one time that I told you about before, and going up to the top of the Empire State Building as high as you could go, and the observation thing
Yeah,
was amazing.
yeah.
Uh, you know,
My friend threw we brought Hostess ding dongs. He found one in his pocket because we'd bought them earlier that day, and he was like, "Okay, where are the cameras? Where are the cameras?" I'm like, "Right there and right there." He's like, "Okay, time them when they turn the other way. Let me know." I was like, "Okay." He goes, "But you need to be watching me." I was like, "Dude, are you gonna jump off?" Like the kid's fucking crazy that I was with, right? So I have no
yeah,
idea what he's gonna do. I was like, "Okay, the cameras are facing the other way." He grabs the Hostess like ding dong and just throws it over his head, and the wind just sucks it away, and it's over. Like over top of the railing, like because the railing has the overhang with spikes on it,
right,
right?
right,
So you can't
yeah,
climb up and die, or climb up and base jump.
right.
But yeah, so he just grabs a ding dong, just whips it up over top of the thing, and the wind just like gone, like it's fucking updrafted, gone. I was like, I wonder where that's gonna land. Like probably on a cab, most likely. But can you
Yeah,
imagine would that hurt if it landed on your head if you were walking down in the street?
I would imagine.
But it's spongy and it's not that heavy, so it's not like you're dropping like a silver dollar or something. That's gonna drop probably a little bit harder than a ding dong.
Somebody could have been walking along and it just magically fell into their hand, and they're like, "Holy shit, ding dongs from heaven!"
And it's still sealed because it was
Yeah,
individually packaged. So he's like, "Fuck yeah, I'll eat that shit. Merry Christmas for me."
like Mortimer and what's his face on trading the trading places when they're like on bum row, and all of a sudden we're back.
Yeah,
Hey, we got dinner.
yeah. So
Uh,
that's my
but
only New York. That's my only Empire State Building story, as far as I know.
I did not do anything that cool, but I did take a lot of pictures, and that was really cool. And you know, I'd like to go back up to the Northeast again. I would like to go up to Maine and like Vermont, New Hampshire. Obviously not in winter, really.
Why not?
But
Hey man,
huh?
I got a friend in Maine. I'm supposed to go visit her. You should come out.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool.
Cause yeah, I'm gonna head over to the Ben and Jerry's factory and do the tour. Fuck
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, she lives like 4 hours from the Ben and Jerry's factory in Vermont. So, fuck yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I've never been that far north. The farthest. Well, hold on, that's not true. Let's see. The farthest north I've been. Well, I've been to Toronto. I've been to Vancouver. The farthest I've ever been in America though was Boston. That's as
Hmm.
far northeast as I've gone.
Well,
So
I guess your next trip to Canada is Lloydminster, right?
what's that? Yeah,
Your next
I don't know
trip.
if I'll ever be able to get into Canada at this point. So
Oh yeah, you're one of those people.
yes, yeah,
How's that
I'm a
working out
pure
for you?
blood.
How's that working out for you?
It's working out pretty good so
Right on.
far.
I'm a pureblood with new steroid injections, so
There you go.
I'm trying to become a superhero. Hopefully,
How many channels you pulling in on the radio station nowadays?
about three.
Yeah, pretty nice, huh?
But I've taken
Built-in
my
Bluetooth.
I've taken my 11th booster, so I'm jacked.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Still not jacked where I can travel without showing my passport, but still, I'll get there.
Well, you'll get there. Let's hope.
I hope Christmas
So,
travel doesn't get fucked up with people in COVID. Like the last 2 years it's been fucked, right?
yeah, yeah. The thing is, like I said, since I traveled last year, it was a week after Christmas.
Yeah.
I've never really traveled like around Thanksgiving, and I've never really traveled that much around right around Christmas. I've traveled, like I said, when I went to Panama, it was a few weeks before Christmas, so it was Christmas time, but it wasn't Christmas.
Yeah.
And so
I've been on a plane on Christmas Day.
really,
So yeah, we flew to Abbotsford to go for Christmas Eve. I think we had 2 days there, and then I had to fly back on Christmas Day back home so that I could work the next day.
uh,
But the airport was packed.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
I'll bet.
I found it weird that many people were traveling on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I've never been traveling on Christmas Day. Like I said, I managed to. Like I said, I wanted to get. It was a trip. I wanted to get down to Mexico, and I wanted to experience New Year's Eve in another country because I'd never done it before, and just having the chance to get down there. I got by the time my flight got down there, I left in the morning. By the time my flight got down there, it was like 8 o'clock at night, and my friend had just like we ordered some. He picked up some tacos, and we had some really good just homemade tacos there, and had the hot tub. And like I said, some beers, and and then we got to watch different fireworks. It was just
Oh,
awesome.
so it was Christmas. It was sorry. So it
New
was New
Year's
Year's.
Eve.
It was New
Yeah,
Year's Eve when you landed. Okay.
yeah. So it was New Year's Eve when I landed. So I flew on the 31st, and then I was there, and then it became New Year's Day while I was there. So
Well, man, let's hope you get to do some Christmas traveling for all around the world.
yeah, let's hope so. Like I said, I really want to go. I really want to go to Southeast Asia again. You know, I mean, I'm not again. I mean, I've been to China, but I'd really like to visit Japan and the Philippines and Vietnam and Thailand and Cambodia and all that area. You know, that's probably like my next area I'd like to travel to.
Okay. Well, make sure you give me
Or
some.
Maine.
So yeah, I mean, I guess if you're gonna do that, make sure you give me some heads up so I can head out there with you, if you don't mind a travel partner.
Oh, of course not. Always good to have company. So, speaking of Christmas, something else we haven't talked about is Christmas movies, as far as our favorite Christmas movies.
Elf, Christmas Vacation, and Love Actually. I could flush all the other ones down the toilet. Those are the three top tier, and it's definitely for me. Love Actually is like cream of the crop. It is the best. You?
Well, I always like Christmas Vacation. I like the other movies, but I think I've watched each of them maybe a couple times a piece. I don't watch them all the time. I used to watch every once in a while. They'd always have it on every year. Is the Christmas classic. What is it? What's that movie with not Jimmy Stewart or what's his name? You know what I'm talking about? The classic old movie. It's a Wonderful Life.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. And I always loved all those. If you remember those 1970s animated, Christmas movies,
that was
the circle ball, like Abominable Snowman and stuff. I loved those as a kid. But I don't really know that I have a favorite Christmas movie. Maybe we talked about this before. Die Hard a little bit. Christmas movie. Celebrating explosions and death. Hey, American movies, right?
No, you're not celebrating explosions and death. You're celebrating a man going on a plane, which he hates doing, to spend time with the family he loves.
There you go.
That he's losing.
He happens to have to kill a bunch of terrorists.
Well, yeah, he's got to save the day. So his ex-wife or soon-to-be ex-wife becomes his no longer ex-wife.
Right. That's right. That's a good movie, but I don't know. I don't really have any Christmas movies as traditions or anything like that. But yeah, I like those movies that you mentioned too. I actually got I requested. I finally got Elf and Love Actually last week on DVD. I gotta watch them yet. So
yep, they're definitely two of my favorite. I think Love Actually is fucking perfect. Everything about it is amazing.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a feel good movie. Makes you feel good in a lot of ways.
I mean, once you watch it, then go online and find part 2 and watch that.
Yeah.
Which is only like 12 minutes long. It's just it takes place like 15 years in the future, and you get to see what everybody's doing now. It's called Red Nose Day.
Yeah, okay. I'll
Enjoy.
look that up.
Yeah, man.
So,
if you're into awesome shit.
Here's something we could talk about Christmas time. What are your favorite desserts that you have around Christmas time? Is there anything you ever have that you don't have the rest of the year that you have around holiday season?
I used to have a roommate who would make butter tarts and shortbread cookies, and I could live on those. And when I was a kid, my mom used to make shortbread cookies with like a maraschino cherry in the middle. That was it. That's what I think of when I think of Christmas. That or like little sugar cookies with the little sprinkles on it. Just those two things right there. I do like the fruitcake with the marzipan on it, but nobody else I know likes it, so I'm alone in that. So I'll buy the small little like itty bitty piece, like 4 inches by 8 inches from like the grocery store, and I'll just eat it myself. Like fuck everyone.
Yeah, there you go.
How about you?
Well, my favorite that I have usually around Christmas time or Thanksgiving, a lot of things I don't really get anymore because my grandma made them. So she made sugar cookies, and I like those, like sugar cookies with some frosting on them and stuff.
Yeah.
And she usually made homemade peanut brittle, and she'd make peanut butter balls that were like dipped in dark chocolate, and those were really good. And peanut clusters, like Spanish peanuts, all in chocolate and like put together.
Yeah.
And she'd make a bunch of other stuff too, but those were my favorite type of things she have.
I've started a tradition here with my kids. I do tree bark, like I make bark. So yeah, I go and I make 3 different kinds. I make like a candy peppermint one with white chocolate, and then I do a dark chocolate with cashews and coconut, and then I do my favorite one, which I can't do all the time because Oreo doesn't always come out with these cookies, but we have a type of Oreo in Canada here. I don't know if you have in the States. It's called chocolate peanut butter pie.
No, I never heard of it.
It's an amazing peanut butter chocolate Oreo, like fucking amazing. So every time I see it near, it's usually out around before Christmas, I buy 2 or 3 packs of them, and then what I do is I make just regular, like milk chocolate, tree bark, and then I melt peanut butter with milk together to make it creamy, and then I pour that over top as a swirl, and then I crumble the peanut butter pie Oreos into the tree bark, and then I drizzle more milk chocolate over top just to hold it all together.
My blood sugar just went up 100 points just hearing that, but
Yeah.
it sounds delicious.
Yeah, my kids love this. I make so much of it that we just put it in the freezer for like months later. You just open the freezer and there'll be like a huge margarine, like Tupperware style container, like the big, huge, like the 1.5 liters, just filled with like different kinds of tree bark that I made that we didn't eat over Christmas, just sitting in the freezer.
Wow, that sounds delicious. Yeah, I do buy peanut brittle from the store, but again, it's a pale imitation to the homemade peanut brittle I used to have.
It always is.
And I really miss those peanut butter balls. My grandma would always make a bunch of them, and then she'd keep them upstairs where like they didn't heat the top part of their house, so they kept it as cooler up there. So like she'd put all the candy up there like on a ledge, like right by the stairs.
Yeah.
And so I'd sneak up there and try to sneak some candy out every once in a while. But it was always cool. It was like being in a refrigerator because it was like 40 degrees upstairs.
Okay.
So
well, man, thanks for stopping by and talking
Yeah.
Christmas. Talking.
yeah, this has been a good conversation. It's nice to think about fun stuff in Christmas time and good memories.
Yeah, man. None of that negative shit. All right, man. Well, thanks for stopping by and chatting about, baby Charlie Ray up to adult Charlie Ray and Christmas then, Christmas now.
That's right. So here's to many beautiful Christmases past and to many Christmases in the future. Hopefully we'll all have good ones and we'll all have a cheery ho 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 time.
I agree. It's always
That's right.
better than a shitty time.
That's right. Much better.
Enjoy the food, enjoy the family. That's something I'm trying to teach my kids. It's not about gifts. It's about hanging out with family, enjoying a good meal, and being thankful that you get to hang out with your family and enjoy a good meal.
Absolutely. Make the most of your time while you have it. All right. Well, with that, I shall say peace out. Merry Christmas.
Peace out, know-it-alls. Merry Christmas.